Have you had situations where, on one hand, you felt very strongly to judge yourself or someone else, and at the same time, you felt not to do it because, in the bigger picture, it made sense that it was happening or that eventually it was leading to something better? Like, for example, you got fired, and deep down, you hated your job and you were happy. And looking back, months or years later, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful that I got fired that day because it opened doors to some new things, some better things. And this is just a very simple, basic example, but I'll be discussing some more deeper, more serious subjects in this video, hoping that it will help you to get a bigger picture and a better picture of what's going on in your life and what is life really about, why we are here on Earth, why we agreed to have these experiences in the first place. So I would say get comfortable because this is not going to be a short video, but with a little bit of luck, towards the end, you'll be wiser. You will see some bigger pictures, some different areas, and you may live your life more easily, smoothly, more joy, more inner peace.
Like, subscribe, and share.
My name is Lotfi Murat, and today I'm going to share with you a view that I have, which is based on my personal experience and what I've learned from many wise people. I want to say my personal experience I learned from very wise people. It means what I've gone through myself, things I did myself, things that happened to me, things I've seen around me, people I've been speaking with who shared their experiences, teachers, and so on. If you're easily offended, and this is definitely something for you because you will get offended, but you may also realize that getting offended is not going to get you anywhere, and that getting offended is your body, is your system telling you to go inwards and see why something that you could consider to be random or meant to be is hurting you so much. We all have wounds, we all have trigger points. So, learning how to manage them, learning how to heal the wounds helps us get further. But also, being able to zoom out and seeing the bigger picture is playing a very big role in you finding more inner peace and calm and experiencing more joy in your life. So a few days ago, I saw a video from a lady who recorded the video as a personal reaction on a podcast she saw. And so there is a podcast of some guy who apparently has hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions of followers, who's in a relationship, committed relationship, and everyone, those followers, or the majority of the followers, see him as this perfect guy with a perfect woman, the perfect relationship. And I can tell you I've been there because an ex of mine and I were also seen as being the perfect relationship, as being in the perfect relationship. And people were all saying, and admiring us, but it was not perfect. And as I said, we're now exes, we're separated already for many years. And yes, we had amazing moments. We had a very strong connection. The love between us was strong. But there were so many dynamics going on, which most people did not see because they were not yet at the level where they could actually see through the veil or see behind the masks or read between the lines or sense what's underneath certain things. Because let's be honest, I dare to say that none of us walking on this planet has healed all his wounds. And so we will be attracting people who will help us uncover our wounds because we have been burying them very deep. And this uncovering can lead to two things: denial or addressing the wound and working on healing it. And the moment you heal a wound, your trigger point is gone. And life will give you some tests so that you can see how far you are and if you finally let go of it. So apparently, this guru guy, oh, and in the podcast, there was also their coach or something, relationship therapist. I don't know exactly what it was. A rabbi, apparently. And so this guy had been most of his life hunting and cheating, but he didn't want to do that anymore. He wanted to be honest and open. And so he brought this second woman into the relationship. And so the first woman, of course, had all her alarm bells going off and all her fears came up. But she felt, I need to face my fears. And it's all about unconditional love and loving everyone, and you should not be egoistic and blah 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 blah. A lot of different things. I'm not judging him, just cannot remember all the nice words that were being used. And so the lady whose video I saw, because I didn't see the first one, and I don't even feel the need to see because I already sensed what happened there, and I just knew. I recognized dynamics and I saw what actually transpired there. But this lady was very strong on, let's say she was judging the situation, especially because the guy has so many followers. So her fear was that many people would be influenced by this and would not set their boundaries or set their boundaries enough and would basically be emotionally, mentally abused. So the word narcissism showed up, um, manipulation, and yeah, these words do belong there from my perspective, but it's only from the perspective of the victim, a victim perspective. And I will explain why. I already touched it in what I said earlier. So life sends us life lessons in the form or shape of people, events, things happening or things not happening. And so the victim will say, oh, life is hurting me, or these people hurt me, these people did this shit to me, these people did that to me. Oh, I'm the victim. I never did anything, and all this shit is happening to me. Well, I was like that. And most probably most of you have been in that situation where you feel like, people did things to me that took my energy away, or they got me to do stupid things, or, well, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm grateful for them because I learned a lot from them. Maybe not always on the moment itself, but eventually I learned from them. But coming back to this specific example, what I recognized is the imbalanced masculine energy of the guy with the imbalanced feminine energy, both of the women, the first one in the relationship and the second one. Because an imbalanced masculine will not attract a balanced feminine. You attract what matches you, and or, of course, it can be both. You attract the life lesson. You attract what will help you get to the next level, what will help you uncover the lie you are telling yourself, the false beliefs you have, beliefs that maybe you didn't start telling the lie yourself, but other people told you lies and you believe them. Could be your parents, could be your best friend, could be somebody you are looking up to. Generally, it is somebody you're looking up to, or the collective, and then you try to please and to belong, and so you believe. And we tend to believe people because we want to be appreciated. We love them, or we want their love mainly. We want their love back. But when we go deep inwards, we know that no matter what situation we are good enough. I'm good enough. You are good enough. And there is, I deserve better. Well, you'll get better when you're ready to receive better. You deserve better is true in a way that your true, authentic self deserves better and will get better, but you're not there yet. Like I said, most probably not one person on this planet healed all his wounds. So is not 100% authentic, is not 100% his true self. So in this specific example, what we have is a man who most probably has no bad intentions, loves the first woman, but has these needs, and these needs, he tries to suppress them. So what does the ego do? Twists things, makes him feel love for the second woman, who clearly he needs to interact with, to work on whatever he needs to heal within himself, whatever he needs to balance out. Life is bringing this woman for a lesson to be learned. Is bringing this woman in this way, like a second woman in the relationship. So this time he's not keeping it hidden, he's not having an affair with her outside the relationship without saying anything. No, life is bringing her inside so that all three of them, and not just all three, but hold on, all three of them can learn from this experience. The more pain they are, the more each of them is being pushed to go inwards to feel what's really hurting. It is not that somebody kissed somebody else that is hurting. It is the feeling of I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not sexy enough. I'm not whatever enough for my partner. So my partner needs to taste somebody else or go get something that I'm not offering. Maybe it's a specific sexual act that the person has and the partner is not in the mood for that. So Person goes outside of the relationship to experience that thing once or multiple times. Does this mean that the partner in the relationship is not good enough? Does it mean that the one who goes to look for something outside the relationship is bad? Maybe they were not supposed to be together. I mean, maybe it's not a long-lasting relationship. Maybe that they met, they decided to be together, but they did not realize that they do not fully match sexually, for example. And when two people do not match sexually and they start a relationship, there is a big chance that one or both of them will be looking outside the relationship for some compensation for what they're lacking, whether it is through porn, whether it's through conversation, whether it's through sexual acts. It can be different things. And sometimes it's non-sexual, like my grandfather and my grandmother, and my grandfather actually. My grandmother was very religious. So in her belief, sex was only there for reproduction. So my grandfather got to sleep with her 5 times or a multiple of 5 times because they had 5 kids. Sex was not something you would do for pleasure. That was sinful. I never met her, but from my cousins who did meet her, I got the picture and also I saw the photographs. She was a real sourpuss. And one of my aunts turned out like her. My grandfather dove into his work, super dedicated to his work, did amazing things. And after my grandmother died, years after, he met someone. And so some judged him for having a relationship with a woman without being married. But I understand that, and I could see that he was happy. So they never had kids, but he definitely got sex. They were happy together and respectful to each other. So when I said that at least these 3 people in this triangle would learn things from it, well, it's not just these 3 people, because him being an influencer and his partner, the first woman also, them as a couple being influencers, makes this lesson public. Even you hear about it now. Even you are processing things in your mind. And you're still wondering, where am I going with all this? But you're intrigued. How does this end? Well, we all are souls who decided to have a human 3D experience. In the soul world, there is no material, there is no hate and love, there is no good and bad, there just is. Everything is neutral. That's why the experience as a human here on Earth is very interesting. It gives the soul an opportunity to learn new things, to see things from a new perspective. That is why I talked about zooming out. So you may have seen pictures of aliens looking at Earth and laughing. You may have seen some of them with a bowl of popcorn. I regularly say now to people, well, I don't have a bowl of popcorn, I have a popcorn machine next to me because one bowl is not enough to watch all of season 2025. And I've watched season 2024 and 2023 and 2022 and so on. At first, not I was not watching every episode, but now I watch more regularly. Season 2025 of Earth. And if you do this and you remember we are souls having a human experience, we are souls who even agreed with whom we would meet and which soul would play which role. And then you realize it's like a TV show, like a theater play, and everyone is playing a role, but really playing it, like immersing into the role to really feel how does it feel to be angry, to be joyful, to be cheated on, to be the bad guy. I mean, some people play the good guy in some series all the time in movies and everything. And some people also sometimes play the bad guy. And then there's that switch. And it's very strange for us as viewers to suddenly see somebody changing because for us, that actor is just a bad person because he's always playing the bad guy. Or the actor is just a good guy. I mean, a few decades ago, there was Law and Order that was so popular in America, and one of the guys from Law and Order, people even made a poll, and he would have been elected president if he would have run for president because everyone saw him as the truthful, honest, righteous guy, the perfect person to lead a country. But it was just a role he was playing. I don't know if maybe he was a total fuck up outside of the TV show. Maybe he was a cheater. Maybe he was a liar. Maybe he was a gambler. We don't know. But then this couple is going through their wounds, facing their dark sides, and doing that publicly. So they must have chosen to walk this path publicly to learn themselves and to share the experience with others so that others do not need to go all the way through the experience themselves, saving time. But they're triggering a lot of people because a lot of people have been or are feeling that they have been or are still are in a similar situation just without knowing it. And so you could say this guy is a narcissist because he convinced his partner that he does everything out of love and innocence. And so he brings in this other, I believe, even younger woman who herself finds herself there in that situation as well. This guy apparently has a lot of charisma, and so women are all like, ah, let's say he's what Brad Pitt used to be. I don't know if women are still falling for Brad Pitt or for what's the guy from Mission Impossible. Or Sean Connery was one of these guys that after a certain age, women were just falling for him by the bushes. Like, all were like, ah, oh, Sean Connery. But in his younger years, he was just rough on the edges and yeah, he was a butcher. But he grew wiser and he even started integrating his wisdom into his movies. So my perspective on this thing is that the guy, most probably unconsciously, if it's consciously, well, that's okay too, because we're not here to judge, but he has the need and he finds a way to play honest. Just like this guy I knew back in the days who saw every woman as a potential boner. Like every woman was attractive, he saw her as a potential woman to spread her legs for him in his bed at some point. So he was always keeping the door open, always playing nice, making sure his image was good, his reputation was good. And he was saying, I'll never lie. I won't just tell the full truth. And he was sharing a lot of things. So people knew that he had a lot of women in his life, but he was not sharing that he was sleeping or trying to sleep with them all. I should say, trying to sleep with them all and sleeping with quite a bit of them. And I asked him, what if your partner finds out? Well, yeah, then I'm screwed, but I will not let her find out. But yeah, but this is not good for her. No, but if she doesn't know, she's not hurt. And what if she does the same? I don't want to know. If I figure out that if I discover that she is doing it, she is out. So basically living a lie. And that went really, really, really deep. So for me, at a certain moment, that I didn't want to be around him anymore because for me that was so wrong. Because I myself have been dealing with the addiction of sex, among other things. And the day that I admitted that I had a problem, like consciously and saying it out loud to my mentor at the time, I felt empowered. The problem was not solved yet. It took me another 8, 9 years. Don't remember exactly the dates, but it took me quite a while to resolve it. First, I had to admit I had a wound. I realized where it came from. I also saw how having had the wound led to me having a lot of experience, learning a lot of things, not just as an addict, but it helped me prevent having a burnout at a young age because I was sexually assaulted at a young age. So it shut me down emotionally, which led to me feeling the need of connection, but I could not connect. So I kept searching and searching and searching. So it was not about the sex, it was about the need for connection because sometimes the sex was bad. So it was not about good sex and like some people say, but it tastes so good, I want to eat it. Because at the moment, it's not because something tastes good that you eat it because you're addicted. You're addicted to the taste, you're addicted to the sugar, you're addicted to the alcohol, you're addicted to whatever. Others just the feeling what it gives you to eat. So that's how people are addicted to eating or to whatever thing people are addicted to. And what I feel here is that is so important to one, being connected with who you truly are, being connected with yourself and feel what does something do for you. How is it affecting you? How is it making you feel? And then go deeper. What's under it? Keep going layer after layer after layer until you come to the bottom of it. You come to the root cause, the root source of what you're feeling or what is making you act in a certain way. That's when you can start transformation. That's when you can heal the wound, really heal it, not mask it or cover it or whatever. I masked my addiction through high libido. I masked my addiction through putting me in a situation where it became impossible to act on my addiction for most of it, which is not bad, which eventually helped me get to where I needed to get, to where I am today. But from the outside, it seemed like my problem was solved, but it was not yet. And people kept coming on my path to show me where I was, how much I still was an addict or not. I can tell you the moment that I had where I got insights and saw the steps I had taken already, what I had achieved, felt amazing. Didn't mean I was already at the finish line. It felt good. This also means that I've hurt people, people have hurt me, but it was all part of the process. I attracted certain people in my life to be able to work on myself in this area, but also in other areas. I'm still attracting people on my path to help me work on whatever I'm working on today. Just like they are attracting me, or you are attracting me in your life to help you realize things, to help you figure out things, to help you resolve certain things for yourself. Maybe just watching this video is enough for you to get your aha moments and work from there. Or maybe you want to work with me personally, have sessions, or join a program that I'm running. I do not know, but there are so many ways that people come on our paths to help us learn our lessons, to help us evolve and grow. And so, judging people for what they are doing or what they have done is a very limited perspective. If you zoom out all the way till you're in this spaceship observing the planet, then you will see that all the good and all the bad, and I know you mainly focused on the bad because that's how we've been raised, is happening for a good reason. We see it now in world politics. Everyone is fighting everyone. I mean, from those greedy for more power people. Alliances are being broken just because of egoism, egocentrism, narcissism, whatever. So that needs to happen for the system to collapse, for the lies to come to surface, for the people to be held accountable. Not per se because they're bad, so they need to be punished, but for people to see where they are corrupt within themselves, where they are not truthful to themselves yet, often without even knowing it. I believe that I'm a good person, that I'm honest, and that I'm not easily corruptible. But I know that I've made mistakes, and I know I will make mistakes in the future. And it's only after making the mistakes and being able to see them that I can see, like, oh, hey, there is something that I did not know was there in me. So then I can work on it. And yes, when it comes to murder, when it comes to rape, when it comes to pedophilia, it's very difficult to zoom out. Most people I know, if their child would be raped, they would just go and kill the rapist without thinking even about the consequences of that, which is a very normal response. If it would happen to somebody they loved, there's still a high chance that they would actually do the same. But this would mean another life lesson for the person doing it. If you go and kill somebody for raping your child, then you choose to do something that will have consequences. Whether you get caught or not, it will stick with you. And that alone is going to lead to many life lessons. If you're being punished and put in prison, then there will be a lot of life lessons there. So all of this makes sense to you, most probably. You'll be like, oh yeah, definitely, I'll do that. But how about zooming out? When it's not your child, when it's not somebody you love, Because when it's really personal, it's really difficult. So I cannot tell you what to do. I cannot tell you what I would do or would not do. But world politics could be a subject where you can zoom out, or politics in general, and see how, and I dare to say it, all politicians are corrupt, all politicians are liars. Whether they have good intentions or bad intentions. I mean, the fact that they need to make concessions, make deals to be able to get other things done because the system is built on this, yeah. For somebody who's really truthful, really honest, always saying the truth, speaking the truth, always speaking his mind, will not get far in politics. May get far at the beginning, but once you really get into the political arena, you need to build alliances, and that's when the shit starts. But if you zoom out, you can see how all of these dynamics are helping the transformation that's happening on planet Earth. How they are caused, on one hand, by the raise in frequency on the planet, on the physical, electromagnetic level. I mean, science has already proven this, measured this, that the whole solar system entered a new part in space with a higher frequency, or rising frequency, actually. And the virtual line was crossed on December 21st in 2012. When the Mayan calendar said the world would end, which it never said, it was just a calendar, starting over. Instead of 12 months, it's 12,000 years, something like that. So it's influenced by this rise of frequency, but at the same time, the frequency is also rising by the effect that it's having on people, and people's frequency is rising on individual level, and so it rises the collective frequency as well. So it's very easy to go and point at someone saying he's bad or he's good. No, we are all playing our roles in this theater play, in this TV show. TV show running for thousands of years. Just let that sink in for a moment. And this is why so many spiritual leaders say, stop judging. And start by stop judging yourself. Once you stop judging yourself, it becomes easier or becomes natural not to judge others as well. So whenever possible, try to zoom out just to get a different perspective on things. The more you do this, the more inner peace you'll get, the more inner calm, the more zen you become, the easier life becomes, the more joy you will experience. Because if you see the bigger picture, see how things are getting better. It seems now like the whole world is on fire, literally and figuratively. But that's not true. That's our need for sensation. So the media is showing us all these things to create all these emotions in us, and we are looking for it because we like the excitement. Raise your hand if you're into watching very boring TV shows. Oh shit, they do not exist because they will not sell. Nobody would watch that. But a juicy one with a lot of drama, that's why they even started to put juicy drama in sci-fi shows. Something that annoys me because I'm watching sci-fi for sci-fi. I don't need some drama stories, some romance and whatever crap and emotional bullshit. No, I'm watching sci-fi for the technological advancement of people and whatever, not for the Oh, my ego got stabbed. Oh. No, I'm not in the mood for that. For that, you have other shows. So make your perspective as big as you can. And don't be afraid to address what you feel within here that needs addressing. Have a wonderful day.
Like, subscribe, and share.